Hello, and today we are going to be doing a viewers requested video, and that comes down to our camping gear and how to store it properly. Now we're kind of going to break this up in two categories, what you would store outside and what's okay to store inside. So let's get down to our equipment. Okay, now that we have some of our gear, let's go over basically our tent and our sleeping gear. What is okay to store inside or out? When it comes to your tent, something you need to know is it's waterproofed, but waterproofing breaks down. It's not permanent. If you store it in heat, it will break down over a period of about 6 months, and so if you go back out, you will need to waterproof it. So I would recommend to go ahead and store it inside. Now, little disclaimer. All the advice I'm giving is just from personal things I've noticed and from others as well. So I live in a humid climate. It may be a little different if you live in a drier climate. But, you know, when it comes to tents, your waterproofing will break down no matter what, and heat breaks it down faster. Okay, let's put that off to the side. Now, let's talk about your bedding. First things first, your cot. This is safe to store outside. You're absolutely fine. So if you want to store it outside, go ahead. And I mean outside, like in your garage or your shed or something of that nature in an enclosed building. This, depending on the foam it is, sometimes heat can break these apart. So if you're not sure, be on the safe side and store it inside. Sleeping bags. Okay, you can store this in the outside. Here's the thing, where I live, there's a lot of creepy crawlies. If you're storing a garage or a shed, like a potting shed, or I just have a backyard shed, the thing is I would put it in a trash bag. I got things like black widows, brown recluses, and scorpions, something I really don't want to open it up and find. So, and that's the same thing with your bedding. This is when I go winter camping, it is, you know, it's just wool blankets. Store it like in a case, maybe a foot locker. I don't know if you can see that right here. And just kind of, you know, keep it protected from the little creepy crawlies that might be in your area. Something you don't want when you put them out in your tent. Okay, now let's talk about water coolers. Can you store them inside or outside? Yes, you can store them outside. Now, what I would recommend, this is a water cooler. I would put like a bag or something over this. Remember the creepy crawlies? Do we really want things that are supposed to have water come out for you to drink, you know, crawling around on it? No, I'd go ahead, put some type of protective covering. It could be a plastic bag with a rubber band. Now, one thing you need to know about coolers, if you're going to pull them out of a 96 degree, this is Fahrenheit for all you that are Celsius, you know, really hot garage or a potting shed of some sort, bring them in, let them cool down before you put food in this. And I'll probably put a reference to a video that I did a long time ago, but you need to let them cool down. If you're going to put ice in it while it's still hot, it's going to melt faster. So let them cool down. Matter of fact, put a block of ice in it about a day before so it cools down to about that, you know, 30 degree Fahrenheit temperature that you want when you start putting your food. But yes, they can be stored outside, but you need to cool them down before you put food in them. Okay, let's talk about our cooking supplies. Would I store this inside or outside? So here's the thing. Remember those creepy crawlies, okay? Your cups and your stainless steelware, such as your plates, silverware, you could store these outside, but once again, put them in something like a foot locker, have them sealed up. I don't know. For all you know, you might have little mice, cockroaches, who knows what's roaming through your shed or your garage. Do you really want to eat off something that's been roaming free on it? Probably not. Now, you can store it outside, but like I said, put it in a container. Now, same thing with that camp stove. Now, this one is a white gas or gasoline camp stove. So, which means I need to drain it first, okay? If you have propane, you don't have to worry about that, but if it's white gas or gasoline, you have to drain it. Now, when it comes to your cast iron, I live in a humid climate. I do not live in a dry climate. I do not store it outside. I've had plenty of friends that will oil them up thinking, you know, they only use theirs for camping. I use mine year round all the time. However, I have friends that, yeah, They said, well, I oiled it up and they're so shocked when they pull it out of their garage and it's full of rust. Yes, the humidity will make these rust. I don't care how much you oil it up. If you're not using it regularly, if you're only using like once or twice a year, yes, don't be surprised to get rust on them. And once again, it comes down to those creepy crawlies. I'm going to be cooking on this. Do I really want them on it? No. And since they are cast iron, I do store these inside. Okay, let's talk about lanyards. Can we store these inside or outside? Well, we could store them in both. Now, one thing I have to go ahead and let you know is there's a couple different types. This is propane, and this one has a little protective case, which I would suggest you get. And this one is that white gas or gasoline. If you're going to store this, regardless of outside or inside, you do need to drain the tank. It can eventually develop a little shellac and kind of mess up the little generator inside of it. So yes, you need to drain these, and obviously inside you definitely want it drained. So yes, inside or outside, just make sure if you have one that runs off of gasoline to go ahead and drain it. Okay, last but not least, many of you may not know what this is. There's probably very few that have used one of these. But if you're one of the blessed few that have ever gotten to use a Chuckbox, you'll know how wonderful they are. This is a mobile kitchen, and I'll leave a link to a very early video that I had done about one, but essentially everything is kept inside. Your camp stove, all those plates and that silverware that I showed you. Mine's a little messy right now. Do I store this inside or outside? Well, definitely inside. I get fire ants and everything else. Even when I clean them out where there's no residue of any food in there, they can smell it. They get inside of it and mess around. So I just permanently keep this inside. Besides, it's really pretty. I did a lot of hard work on it and I don't want it to get messed up. So yes, if you are one of the lucky few that have a Chuckbox, I would recommend storing it inside. If you don't be surprised if you get ants in. Well, I hope that video was helpful. Thank you for suggesting this video, James, and hopefully this was helpful. If you all like this channel, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And yes, I got my partner in crime with me right now. And for the rest of you, have a wonderful camping day.